Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Lorraine Galvis. I am a licensed business and trademark attorney based in New York and Connecticut. Many of you have been on my channel because I have been talking religiously and consistently about student loan reform. And as a previous law student and a current borrower that has loans in repayment, this topic is very, very important to me. I think that it should be a central topic in the upcoming election. And I think that we need to just keep talking about it so that these very important issues don't get lost. Student loans affect more than half of this country. And I think it really is a significant factor in how many in my generation, I'm first generation Latina in this country, but I really do believe that it affects our ability to plan for retirement, to plan our wealth. All of our financial situations are different, so I do want to put that out there before I start talking about student loans. And more importantly, the Student Loan Interest Elimination Act. That is really the large, booming, resounding message that I want to leave you with today. Anyone who you know has significant student loan debt, and it doesn't matter the size, but I say significant because if you are in a licensed profession like I am, meaning you are an attorney, a surgeon, a therapist, a social worker, a teacher, an accountant, any of the licensed professions, an architect, if you are a licensed professional like me who has not worked in public service, we do not qualify for public service loan forgiveness. Initially, my loan debt when I graduated law school was somewhere in the neighborhood of $179,000, and that was in 2014. But my payments weren't enough to cover the interest on my loan and the principal amount. For those of you like me who are in that situation, there may be a few options for us to at least take somewhat control of that interest ballooning. So we have to figure out another way to get out of this very, very deep hole that unfortunately we are in because we decided to pursue higher education. We decided to be licensed professionals and help others. And we're paying for it, like literally paying for it. I am not speaking against the SAVE program that was recently introduced by the Biden administration over the summer. SAVE stands for Saving on a Valuable Education. I enrolled in the SAVE plan yesterday after about 2 weeks of thinking about whether it was the right decision for me. And I think that the SAVE plan can go further. I just don't think that it does enough to provide relief. The main sticking point I have with the SAVE plan are two things, 2 points. First, it extends the time of repayment. So I was initially on the pay plan, the pay as you earn plan. The loan term is for 20 years. And after those 20 years, I qualified for forgiveness as soon as November 2037. However, my forgiveness amount was going to be $342,265. So that number, is just alarming considering I only borrowed $179,000 in principal. And even after that principal amount gained interest and that interest was capitalized, I only owed $227,000, which is still insane. But the pay plan didn't appear to be the best choice for the moment for this very reason, for that enormous forgiveness amount and the fact that for the moment, the SAVE plan appears to be offering somewhat better terms, but we really got to read the fine print and we got to dig in here and we got to look at this very closely. So that's my first issue. with the SAVE plan, the extension of the loan term for graduate school loans from 20 years to 25 years. Now, folks, you have to read this very carefully because that distinction is made on these different loan types. Undergraduate loans are not treated the same way as graduate school loans. So you have to read the fine print. My second issue with the SAVE plan is that I still have to repay the interest that has capitalized on my account. Under the proposed Student Interest Loan Elimination Act, which was proposed by Congressman Joe Courtney and Senator Peter Welch from respectively Connecticut and Vermont, under that bill, if passed, I would have the opportunity to refinance my loans to 0%. There is the potential to significantly lower or completely eliminate the interest on my present student loans. Folks, that's huge, and let me tell you why. Initially, I owed $52,000 in interest only on top of the $179,000 in principal on my student loan. This was prior to COVID. During COVID, from March 2020, during the COVID forbearance, from March 2020 to the present date, I continued paying my student loans. I took advantage of that zero interest window to try and make a dent and get through that interest as quickly as possible since it was frozen in order to get to my principal quicker. During that time period, during the COVID forbearance, I paid off a little over $37,000. But I still owe, I believe it's about $29,000 or so in student loan interest. And in principal, I owe now $169,005 in principal, down from $179,000 and change, which was my principal before the COVID pause. That is my second issue with the SAVE plan. I don't think it goes far enough because I still have to pay the government the interest that has capitalized on my loan. When I spoke to my loan servicer yesterday, to Nelnet, I was told that my loan would no longer, the interest would not grow on it, right? The interest would stay right where it is, but I still have to pay it back. I still need to pay Uncle Sam their $29,000 before I can repay the principal on my loan. These politicians have co-sponsored this very important bill, the Student Loan Interest Elimination Act. Two reasons why this is better than the SAVE plan. I will give the SAVE plan the benefit that it lowers payments and the payments attached to your income. And I do think that that is an advantage here because under the SAVE plan, there is the possibility that I will be paying $0 a month, but it's going to be another 19 years before I can qualify for that forgiveness benefit. And even if I qualify for it, it's taxable income, very likely taxable income because I live in New York and they tax us for everything. So it's going to come out of my Social Security if there is Social Security, or it's going to come out of my income stream in some other way. However, the Student Loan Interest Elimination Act not only would allow us to refinance for us current borrowers our current student loans to 0%, but for those of you who are considering taking out student loans, or if you are the student and you're taking out Grad Plus loans, because let me make this distinction as well, I don't believe that Parent Plus loans qualify for certain benefits of the SAVE plan. So you have to read this very carefully. It's very likely that parents who are taking out these loans on behalf of their children will not qualify for some of the benefits that the government is proposing in some of these new student laws, rules, and reforms and these new plans. The reason I decided to try out the SAVE plan, 3 very important reasons. 1, I have no intention of waiting 19 years for loan forgiveness. I intend to pay off my loans as soon as possible in any way, shape, or form possible. If I'm getting a windfall, if I'm getting any cash, I'm throwing that money at my student loans, and I am trying to get out of debt as quickly as possible, because the sooner I'm out of debt, the sooner I'm free to do whatever I want with my money. Look at your situation carefully and figure out what your priority is and what your value and principle around debt and student loans are. The second reason why I switched is because it is very likely that my monthly payment, which looked like it was going to be $252 a month, is very likely to go down to $0 a month. I am an entrepreneur, but I'm a lawyer by trade and I own my own law practice. I have high seasons, very busy seasons, and I have low seasons, dry seasons. And I think under the SAVE program, it is very likely that I will have the flexibility whenever I need to decide what bills need to take priority, or when I'm paying my staff, or I need to go to conferences to do business development. The fact that I won't have a monthly payment immediately due gives me that flexibility to put that cash towards something else that requires immediate payment. That's under the SAVE plan. But if the Student Loan Interest Elimination Act were passed, not only would I make those monthly payments, but they would likely go right toward my principal, right toward the $169,005 that I currently owe, because my interest has been refinanced to 0. So I might be paying a little or possibly no accumulated student interest. Some of that $29,000 has a really good chance of going away. That right there will encourage me to continue paying my loans, because I'm actually making some headway. I'm actually getting somewhere. You are essentially allowing me to pay you back what I borrowed, what you trusted me to use to get my education, which I got, and I'm putting it to use. I own a law firm. I'm working as a lawyer. I borrowed $179,000 to do that from you, Uncle Sam, and I'm asking you for the opportunity to pay that back. I'm already paying my taxes. Please allow me to pay back my principal. So that's why I don't think the SAVE plan goes far enough, and we need to pass the Student Loan Interest Elimination Act. Are you willing to wait 20 years under the PAYE program or 25 years under the SAVE program to qualify for loan forgiveness? And if that's the case, I believe that most of my friends or most of my colleagues who feel that way are the same people who are saying, well, if I apply for the SAVE program and it's a 0 monthly payment, I'm not going to pay anything. And I'm just going to let my student loans do what they do. They're going to be accruing interest. They're going to be doing whatever they're doing. And then it'll be forgiven after 19 years or whatever is left on my loan term. And if they want to tax the income on the forgiven amount, I'm okay with that. If that is part of your financial plan, that is fine. And the SAVE program is probably fine for you. What I'm saying is, we don't just have to stop at the SAVE program. We can have the benefits of the SAVE program and make it even better. The whipped cream and the cherry on top is the Student Loan Interest Elimination Act. We refinance to 0. We don't have to worry about the interest anymore. This goes further. The Student Loan Interest Elimination Act is what we need. Uncle Sam, if you insist on getting your share, if you insist on getting your accumulated or capitalized interest, everyone out there, all these students that don't want to pay their loans are just going to be like, I'm just not paying my loans because you're not letting me pay principal and you want your money first. And that's just not going to work for us. For more information on this very important piece of legislation, please subscribe to this channel, like this video. Feel free to send me an email at info@galvisandcompany.com. I would be more than happy to speak on any podcast or speak on any news, morning shows, or specials about this very important topic. I am very transparent with my loans and the amount that I owe, and there should be no stigma around that. We should be talking about it more so that the government could really see and people can really see the effect that these predatory loans, because that's exactly what they are, that these, student loans are having on our life and our ability to plan for our future.